Here, let me get this out to X so people know I'm live. All right. All right. And I gotta get this to Facebook too. So hold on. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So I am here, and this is absolutely huge. Last night, well, this morning early, like it was midnight Cameron's time, so that's California. It was about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Something just told me to wake up and look at my phone. Now, I put it on sleep mode with an alarm set for 7:45 so I can get up and so I can sleep and I'm not getting distracted by X push notices. And wow, people, I got the greatest text message I've had in a long time. Matt Belloni said that he had heard from 3 different sources that Kennedy was out. Then THR ran with it. And then Variety tried to poo-poo it, and it looked like Kathleen caught wind and tried to circumvent it, but it's real. She's done. She's fucking gone. So I want to talk a little bit about, let me get up and grab. See if I can actually get into Cameron's Patreon here. So we can actually, hi Brett. Patreon. Come on. Well, let's let that try to warm up a little bit. I don't know what the hell. Maybe I turn it off a little bit. I want to read a little bit of what Sparrow said, because this wasn't Kennedy's idea to make any announcement. Let's put it that way. I want to talk a little bit about the Belloni thing. First off, I read it, the article on Cameron's Patreon. If you're not part of his Patreon, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can actually be part of his Patreon, and you know, it's worth it because you'll get the news before anybody else on a lot of things, especially like Lucasfilm and everything. Now I know a lot of people are okay, here we go. I know a lot of people are exhausted, and I understand that. I'm a little bit exhausted too. However, we have been waiting since 2018 when she threw one black woman under the bus, which is Carrie Hart. She did everything she could to deny that she had failed. And it's really kind of, you know, kind of gross, in my opinion, on her part, to have done that. You know, we know the story. We know, we thought Disney might not might not okay, why isn't this? Okay, we gotta, okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Why this isn't caught up. You know, we know the Gravity Fallout Pines, because Bob Iger already did, and if you've been following this YouTube channel, you would already know that. It's Jon Favreau, who, by the way, was the one who leaked the stuff to Belloni, to THR, and then they had to do an end around Kennedy to tell Variety, yeah, she is leaving. She's out. She's out. He is the successor. Again, watch this channel. Don't go to Nerdrotic. Don't go to Ryan Cannell. Don't go to Geeks and Gamers. Don't go to Drunk 3PO. All right? They're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to give you the unvarnished thing. So let's go back to Belloni. So Belloni said he didn't know when she was going to leave, but it was this year sometime. Then THR came out and said the end of the year. And then Variety said, well, that really hasn't been decided yet. And then they had to come out and say the end of the year. Okay, so obviously there was some skirmishing going on in the background. Belloni said, and he doesn't have everything, that he thought Dave Filoni would take over, which I don't have a problem with that if I thought Dave was actually studio, had personnel, but he's not. I mean, he's a creative. I mean, I look at him and go, no. Belloni said that he didn't think Favreau would be very interested in it. Jon Favreau has been set up to take over Lucasfilm from the get-go. Okay, that's why he showed up there. He came in, said, I can fix it. Mandalorian shows up, and he fixed it. And then Kennedy started meddling in it with the Book of Boba Fett, with Kenobi, and, Ann Bohr pretty much bored the shit out of everybody, and it was woke garbage. And then, then we get Kenobi, which I thought was great, but because, again, she's there you go, okay? She is poison for the franchise. So then we get into The Acolyte, and we know what happened at Star Wars Celebration in 2023. First off, The Acolyte wasn't supposed to be talked about, and then all the actors and Leslie Forehead and all the everything came out on the stage and undermined Ahsoka. Then Daisy Ridley came out to a very shocked surprise on her part that they were doing a Rey movie, which now is never going to happen because Kennedy's gone, and there's no impetus for them to do a Rey movie. So there you go. And then all right, I'm going to give you if you're a newbie here, I'll give you the timeline. So she goes in, upstages Favreau and Filoni at Star Wars Celebration, pisses off Iger. They walk in to the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny Cannes Film Festival premiere, and while they're sitting in there watching the movie, the Star Wars Hotel has announced it's going away. Willow's being removed from Disney Plus. She's got that sitting on her phone while the movie's playing. Then sadly for Harrison Ford, and I think George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, she fucks up Dial of Destiny, which you shouldn't shock anybody, right? Because Kathy fucks up everything she touches. If she doesn't have George on one side, Steven on the other, and Harrison staring at her. Don't fuck up, all right? And I got the phone call. I was sitting in the parking lot at the local AMC theater waiting to go in to see Dial of Destiny. I got a phone call from Kamran saying he just got off the phone with Sparrow. there were lawyers, like I'll say 5, maybe 7, from the 7th floor at Disney. And the rumor around the office was Kennedy had been removed from the network, from the server. And the rumor was all the emails. Okay, that was a rumor. So the 3rd of July, she gets into a confrontation with Iger over how bad Dial of Destiny really did. And it did, all right, I'm not gonna lie, it did pretty bad. Okay, I mean, it's probably one of the biggest flops, if not the biggest flop, in the history of filmmaking, which is, again, for the Indiana Jones franchise, for Harrison Ford, that is so bad. It is so sad, I can't. My favorite actor deserved better. Character deserved better. All the hard work that Steven and George put into that franchise, they deserved better, but they didn't get it from her. All right. So she's sitting in the office, 7th floor at the Burbank Disney headquarters. Bob Iger, I'm going to assume Alan Bergman, Dana Walden, several lawyers, making excuses for, they asked her, why did Dial of Destiny fail? They all knew why it failed. Poor writing, poor conception, woke. Where did he get a black female CIA agent in 1969? All right, black female CIA agent. Unless they're, exploring, trying to flip people, the African National Congress. But she's with a bunch of Nazis trying to get the Dial of Destiny. And they end up killing her, which is so stupid. And, Iger wanted to know why all these mistakes have been made. And Kennedy basically called out Kevin Feige, who's like, I'm not even there, on the Eternals, Captain Marvel, some other things. And then she turned around and blamed everything going wrong with all the studios at Disney on Iger. Now, I have heard a lot of stuff about Bob Iger. Bob Iger is this, Bob Iger is that. Bob Iger is easygoing, he loves the talent, blah, blah, blah. I guess from what the rumor was, Iger lost his shit, as was his right. Okay, so Kennedy goes on her vacation to France and spends like a month, like 40 days there, comes back, tries to go into Lucasfilm, and she's not allowed in. They wouldn't let her in. Now, I don't know if she's been on the campus since then, but Sparrow did say moving boxes showed up to her office. I'm going to say up in San Francisco or Skywalker Ranch, and was taking things out. We're moving guys, U-Haul, okay? All right, so you got that going on. She sold this house she and her husband had, overlooking Malibu. It was Carbon Canyon Drive house. And I think where the fires went, I think that house was gone. Okay, I think that house got gone. And from what Matt Belloni said, she sold a lot of art. Artwork that she'd invested in, she sold. I mean, I think does she owe Disney money? I mean, Brett, I think they'll probably remove The Acolyte from Disney Plus. And I think they'll probably move the sequel trilogy to Legends. All right, because there's more to it than just Kennedy leaving. So we've got all that crap going on. And it got real quiet. We didn't have a Star Wars celebration last year. Oh yeah, Jack. Oh yeah. But I'm holding off on the caviar and the big bottle of Veuve Clicquot Rosé until she has to go out and say, I'm retiring from Lucasfilm. Then the celebration can commence. Tonight, I got a bottle of, I had a bottle of Demisect, half bottle. I've got a steak that thick for me and my husband, and some other things to eat. And I was gonna do a lobster tail, but it didn't look very good. It was real skinny and cut. So, you know, but hey, you know what? Have your rum tonight. Just plan on a bigger celebration because I got more here coming. There's more here. So, anyway, I'm gonna read you what I have joined. What it? Ah, why is this done? Back. So I'll kind of paraphrase everything. Belloni said, again, all that stuff. Okay. Then Kamran got an update from Sparrow. Apparently, Kennedy was basically backed into a corner by the announcement. I'm going to give you the skinny because I can't read this because for some reason this thing has decided that I don't have well, maybe I can get into it this way. Sparrow said that she was blindsided by this. She's backed into a corner. Okay, she doesn't have a choice. So I don't know exactly what it means. All right, email. All right. All right, scoop, fate of Kathleen Kennedy. So, and so Cameron goes, and so we come to long last to the fate of Kathleen Kennedy. While our friends on YouTube grumble about, yeah, right, we've all heard this before. Black pills, go fuck yourselves. Okay. The truth is that we have never heard this before from any of the Hollywood trades. And as of this moment, Puck, the Hollywood Reporter, and Variety are all reporting that Kennedy will step down from Lucasfilm this year. But is it true? So he spoke with Sparrow this morning, and they had two words to say: she's out. Yes, the source confirms Kathleen Kennedy has finally reached the end of her tortuous road, leaving behind her the billion-dollar wreckage of the greatest Hollywood franchise in history. Basically, Birdie Man, Birdie Girl, Birdie they, says that the deal for her departure was reached in October 2024, which supports Matt Belloni's reporting in Puck that she is ready to leave at the end of last year. Iger apparently informed Kennedy back then that her contract would not be renewed, so it would be up to her to either retire voluntarily or the trades would be told that she had been removed. She chose the former. But basically, Iger decided to hold back the announcement until now, as the final months of 2024 were filmed with much change, and of course, the election, which was thanks be to Jesus Christ, etc., and would add volatility. Would her leaving would add volatility to Disney's shares. But now, hey Peter. But our insider says, all right, now with President Trump firmly in office and Hollywood openly kicking out DEI programs. I mean, Disney closing down. Hey, Wintrell. Hey, Sci-Fi Universes. Hey, Peter. Disney kicking Reimagine Tomorrow to the curb. With there's no fear of progressive backlash, Iger sensed the cultural environment has reached a place where he can bring down the most powerful woman in Hollywood without facing retribution. Right. Oprah Winfrey's actually the most powerful woman in Hollywood, just so Will. All right. It is fitting Kathleen Kennedy would be brought down using the now infamous fake Ray movie maneuver, which has kept her clinging to her job title long after its expiration date. As you know, as Palpatine quipped, how ironic. Now the guns have gone silent, Kennedy's civil war is formally over. Strange sense of quiet has descended on the room battlefield, Lucasfilm. The office of, according to They Sparrow, is surprisingly numb to the announcement that Disney villain in human form, as she was being openly called inside Lucasfilm, hey Kamran, has been her end. All right, so I'm going to add this. Kamran is here. He's right here. He said basically, as many fans and himself and employees are simply exhausted by what we've collectively endured for over a decade. And now the question on everyone's mind, where do we go from here? And the answer is, it all depends on how Jon Favreau's future projects do with Kennedy no longer around to create drama. So the choice is up to us. Now, again, Matt Belloni said he wasn't sure in his article. He was speculating that Jon Favreau wouldn't want to take the job. As you know, Kamran, who's here, and I beg to differ. Okay, he's the one that did all this. He's the one that rebuilt Lucasfilm while she was pretending she had a movie with Daisy Ridley. But here's something, and I sent this to Kamran. So I sent a message to Matt Belloni on X. He came back and said, we may hear something at Star Wars Celebration. And that will likely be the official announcement. Okay, so why I'm telling people, don't break out, the $300 bottle of Grand Dame, the $300, for 2 ounces of Ocetric caviar, or whatever you're gonna, or whatever you do to celebrate. Yet, celebrate a little bit. I am. Okay, later tonight. Trust me, there will be a picture. The phone with Kathleen Kennedy's headlines, a glass of Demisec Clico, and probably a steak sitting in front of it. Just because I think we deserve some time to just go, it's kind of like, do you guys remember the scene in Frasier? And I've used this little tag from Frasier. Frasier's laying on his sofa. It was after Martin's girlfriend Sherry and she was a bit crass. Had left Martin. They got into a fight and they broke up. And Sherry was a pain in the ass to Frasier, and Niles didn't like her. And he's laying there, and I can't remember what Daphne says to him, but he says, he says something, I feel not unlike an Irish seaside village after the Vikings left. And there you go. Okay. Yeah, like Kamran said, this the Lifetime Achievement Awards. The fact that there have been no announcements besides these like blooms of Ray film speculation coming back, like, bad case of the clap that you can't quite get rid of. That stuff. Okay. It's over. Okay. There is not going to be, look, Jon Favreau won't touch a rape movie for any reason whatsoever. Okay. And it's just, I mean, this is the day we've been waiting for. If it had been 3 years ago, I'd probably be doing, just trying to get back to even keel. Now I'm like, we got the election. We've got, Sci-Fi Universes, he's been involved. Go watch the video I uploaded this morning. Okay. It premiered at noon. George was involved with The Mandalorian from day one because John wanted him there. Okay. And it's like, that's the thing. And like I said, when I was doing the timeline thing, a lot of people forget a lot of stuff. Now, I'll remind you, leadership has changed a little bit at Lucasfilm. Rain Roberts, who, according to a Sparrow scoop, was on a Disney HR hit list. If Kamran's still here, he remembers. And that's, no, just let's listen to what I'm saying, Sci-Fi Universes. Kamran remembers that. Rain Roberts is on that list. She didn't get along with John or Dave. Now, she's at Searchlight. She failed upwards. She went from being an assistant or a deputy or vice president of development to senior vice president of development at Searchlight. Another guy, and she was part of the Acolyte. Okay, any picture you saw at the premiere, she was in this white pantsuit, doing, her best, whatever, imitation. And then another guy named Max Taylor, who he has a LinkedIn, profile. He hasn't updated it. He hasn't updated it. I don't remember if he was on. I don't think he was on that list, but he's gone. He was part of the Willow debacle. Okay. And a new guy named Derek Hoffman, who it looks like he came over from, I want to say, Lethal Weapon 5. They've been trying to get that moving. Mel Gibson himself had told people, I think, on the red carpet, he didn't think they wanted to make it. He was not only going to be in it, he was going to direct it, which Mel is a great director. Let's not deny that. His name was Derek Hoffman, and he didn't take over for Rain Roberts. If you look where they slid him in, he's where Max Taylor was. Now, I looked at the leadership board today. Nothing's changed. But I'm going to start looking at Lin-Wyn Brennan leaving. I would say Candace Campos. Now, you got to understand. Oh, and also, if you guys didn't see this, let's find out what Gina Carano posted today. I gotta go in. There we go. Oh man. Okay, let's just go. Let's just do this. All right, Gina Carano. If I could get on this X account, I would just go right here, but I can't. I'm not gonna go crazy on this. She posted a GIF of a girl sipping this morning, and everybody knew what that meant. So, we know we have, I think, the Karen McCarthy lawsuit opening up, sipping tea, opening up in March. Gina had posted on her Facebook page and then deleted it. Big update coming in the coming weeks. That was about 2 weeks ago. So I would say that, as Kamran would agree with me, that you're going to see settlements coming. Disney cannot afford to have a mess like what is going on, what would go on with these two lawsuits going on, competing basically at the same time. And again, we've also got the knapsack lawsuit, which no one's heard anything about. So I suspect Kennedy's trying to get out from under that too. Yeah, so I mean, I let Kamran answer that, but I'm going to add my 5 cents. They're never going to apologize. They're going to make it up like they knew, and they didn't. Probably steal scoops from other people like they always do, and then there you go. So this is, it's funny. I do kind of feel like, see if I can find that. Not unlike Frasier. I don't want those. Well, if I can't find it, I can't find it. That, they're not going to apologize. I mean, look, when they went after Kamran, and if Cross was here, because he was in the chat, if Dave Pensack was here, if any of my other wrenches were here, they saw, and I'm going to call him out, Pro, literally threaten Kamran. And I, like a dumbass, did not take a screenshot. Had I done it, I was so shocked I couldn't believe it. Had I done what I should have done, and if you did it now, I would, we probably wouldn't see them where they are right now. Because that was absolutely the most uncalled for thing ever. Okay, it was so, oh, you were there. Okay, you saw it. Okay, see? And he got away with it because people didn't believe it. But he did. He fucking did, Well, look, I saw a guy, it's a podcast on YouTube called Duran, and they talk a lot of, they talk a lot about like what's going on in Ukraine, etc. They brought up Nerdrotic. It's like, why? This is the thing. These guys gaslight everybody into giving them publicity that they don't deserve. And that's what's going on here. And they gaslight. Okay, they gaslight. Nerdrotic has said some really stupid things, really, to, like everyone from Mark Hamill to Mark Hamill's granddaughter's mother, etc. And, he didn't apologize. All right. WDW Pro has people stealing stories, and then he rewrites them as if he did, as if our sources. You don't have any sources. We all know that. Okay, so, but I don't want to talk about them. This is, such a tremendously good day. And I want you guys to be cautioned by the fact that that there are YouTubers that will not share your enthusiasm. And the reason why is because it doesn't pay the bills. Okay, it doesn't pay the bills. I've got 29 people in my chat right now, or probably more. And I'm not asking for money. I could turn it on. But the reason why I'm here is because I'm loyal to George Lucas. I'm loyal to the guy that gave me an idea that maybe I could make movies too, until this happened. You know, and I probably should have said, well, I can't be in front of the camera, so maybe I can be behind the camera, but I don't want to do that. Hey, Dave. But, you know, that's years, decades ago. There's something so awful. Oh, yeah, Ethan Van Sciver. Yeah. Yeah. And Cameron is right. I don't need to see an apology, verbal. I would just like to see her be back. And that would shut the black pills up. Because the reason why they've gotten where they got is when Kennedy did what she did. And they unwittingly fell into her trap. All right, that's why we're where we're at. It's not because Jon Favreau did anything wrong. Skeleton Crew is great. I liked Ahsoka. I like Kenobi. No, I didn't like Reva. They could have found a better actress. They could have written that, you know, subplot better. Okay, but still, you know, despite her, we had Vader and Kenobi again. And no, it did not break canon. There's a reason why in the second to the last episode, the first scene you see is Anakin, older, by the way. He wasn't de-aged. Padawan hairdo, fighting with, sparring with Kenobi like a Padawan. That's what that was about. They were still master and apprentice. Vader, Anakin, never got over that anger, never got over that feeling of I'm not good enough. I want to prove myself to him, you know, and that's the issue. Okay, then we get Ahsoka. Didn't anybody get moved when they saw Anakin standing behind her in the world between worlds? And didn't we see where he was? I would expect real Star Wars fans to understand where he's standing is the world between worlds, which comes from Mortis and the wolves in a door and world between worlds and rebels. That is the switch, kill switch for the sequel trilogy. And what is Anakin doing there? All right, let's get back into our little seats. Go back to Clone Wars, the first episode of the Mortis arc. I'm dying, says the father. I want you to come and take over to keep my son and daughter in balance. Anakin, I can't do that. I'm married, and I've got a war to fight. Anakin is seeing his destiny as bringing balance to the Force by replacing the father. Okay? That's why that's why he's on Peridea. That's why Balin Skull is on Peridea. That's why Ahsoka's on Peridea. And that's why the little owl thing, that's the daughter's paraclete. I'll give you, if you don't know what that means, the paraclete is the Holy Spirit from, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. The paraclete is that force out there. Morai, that owl, is the daughter's paraclete. She's there on Peridea. Okay, so, we've got Anakin in the world between worlds. Looks like he's taking up his mantle as truly as the chosen one, right? to bring balance to the force. And yet we have people still thinking, blah, blah, blah. With Kennedy leaving, they're going to try to figure out other ways to make money. They're going to try to get people gaslit into the idea that Filoni's woke, Favreau isn't good enough. They'll figure out something, okay, instead of, maybe going to DC and trying to disconnect all that stuff. And again, it's, as someone who has traveled the conservative thing, right? I've always wondered why the most popular conservatives, Ronald Reagan, Andrew Breitbart, I wouldn't say Trump is a conservative, but let's put him there, we're always happy warriors. And the people that are in the chattering class are the most uninspired, negative human beings you will ever meet in your entire life. That's part of the problem here, you guys. All right. So we've got great news. Kennedy's gone. Run with it. Run with it. Okay. If she announces her resignation or retirement, and we all know she's basically been fired, right? I mean, that's the reality of this. At Star Wars Celebration, break out that bubbly, break out that good beer, break out that chai tea, whatever. Go and get a big dinner, all right? Go to the best Lebanese restaurant you can find. Get the kibbe, get the lamb, get everything, okay? Go to a German restaurant. Get Jägerschnitzel, all right? Big things of beer, all right? Go to a French restaurant like I would, okay? Be happy, all right? They'll look. They will do it until they can't anymore. Now, I'll tell you guys this. I watched the Andor trailer. The music, I'm like, are we at a rave or are we actually watching a Star Wars show? The trailer had some good parts. The music annoyed me. We got to see Luthen Rawl, whom I love. Mon Mothma probably at her daughter's wedding. We got to see the creepy stalker dude. We didn't see any of the annoying characters. All right, we didn't see any of them. And it looks like to me that they're not even going to be in this. Thank God. Okay. So, maybe they tightened it up. Maybe they fixed what the problems were. I called it Ambor before, so I'm going to watch it. And I will be brutally honest. If there's something I don't like, I'll tell you. If there's something I do like, I'll tell you. Okay. I was talking, actually, if Dave Pensack is still here, our friend Craig Johnson, do you remember him? Raise your hands if you do. Reviews for you. He is real sick right now. He's got what looks to be kidney cancer, renal cancer. I've got a GoFundMe for him, and actually it's making some money. And I want to figure out how to do a live one with other people. We can see if we can get more donations. He's like begging me, you have to like this, you have to. And I'm like, look, I like Kenobi, but for Sabine, Hera, and Hera's kid. I mean, they both take you out of the show. Okay. Sabine takes away from Leia. But I know why they put her in there. At least in the part where she was reporting to the Provost Council. Because if it had been Leia, Kennedy would have had a stroke. Okay. And I know for a fact, I think Kamran will back me up on this, that Iger cautioned Favreau with using the OG heroes too much because Kennedy was like, blah, 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 blah. You know, for some reason, she hates them. I mean, all of them. Okay. Uh, I mean, look at what she did. I mean, people complain about Mark Hamill. I don't remember Mark being this bad, this big of a nutbag, and he is a nutbag right now, as he is now. And I don't remember it starting till after The Last Jedi came out, and they screwed his character over, his legacy over so bad. Okay, now, well, he lost his mind because of Trump, but I think it had a lot to do with how they treated him. And I think if they done, we're back. Okay, sorry. I get these spam calls from the Order of the Police Brotherhood or something for money every goddamn day, at least twice a day. And I've tried. Oh, thank you, Dave. So that's Craig's GoFundMe, and we're trying to get $8,000. Okay. And I've gotten a pretty positive feeling from this. A lot of people, including a friend of mine from when I worked with Breitbart well over a decade ago, named Charlie, gave money. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really good friend of mine. I absolutely adore him. Yeah, and I think Peter's right there too, but I think that if anything was a kill switch on that, I think it was The Last Jedi. I mean, you could see how deflated he was by it. Okay, and it spiraled. So let's talk about what's going on this year. Kennedy has to announce she's leaving no matter what because it's out there in the trades now. Deadline hasn't reported it yet, I don't think. The High Republic, at least according to Kevin Scott, is over this summer. It's done. Pablo Hidalgo has run to blue skies, and he doesn't talk about anything. I'm looking for him to retire. I don't think he's going to move on. And I think if he does retire, he'll probably open up some sort of podcast so he can bitch. All right. We've got Ahsoka starting is going to start filming this summer. And I want to tell you guys, this is a Sparrow scoop. If you're a newbie here, you didn't hear this, Kamran will back me up on this. They're going to do the first half, I guess it's going to be about Peridia. And then the second half is basically redoing the timeline. And that's where John is going to be comfortable enough to actually erase the sequel trilogy. Now I'm going to tell you how we know this is happening. The end of the upcoming month, guess who's going to show up at Galaxy's Edge for some sort of thing? Luke Skywalker. All right. And it looks to me that they're going to start phasing out the sequel trilogy from there. John has wanted to do it for a long time. You don't necessarily have to redo everything at Galaxy's Edge. Because if you look at it, it looks like Tatooine. There you go. It's not Batuu anymore. It's Tatooine, right? And, I can imagine, them adding maybe Hoth. Give you a little idea I had. If they wanted to do Hoth, When you go to the Marine Corps, National Marine Corps Museum at Quantico, there is an entire exhibit dedicated to the Korean War and the Chosin Reservoir. You walk in to the exhibit and you're freezing your ass off. So you could do Hoth kind of like that. Okay, you could give people a sense if they're actually there. Okay, you could do a trench run or trench run ride. You could take Rise of the Resistance and turn it into Return of the Jedi, the Endor battle. Replace Kylo Ren with Vader. Replace Finn with Han Solo. Have Chewbacca, in different places. Leia in different places. So, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. Oh, and for the love of all that is holy, replace the sensor dish on top of the Falcon with a round one. All right? Because that rectangle gives me PTSD. All right? I think Peter's got a point. I don't know. I mean, the quality of mercy is mightiest and the mightiest, and I kind of feel sorry for Mark. I do. It's just me. Okay. So, guys, I've been on for a long time. I've got to kind of get the kitchen straightened up so I can cook. I might be back later. I'm not sure. But I wanted to do a live stream. Thanks, Kamran, for showing up. Thanks, Dave, for putting Craig's GoFundMe up there. It's a worthy cause, so if you saw it, go up there. Please give what you can. And you guys have a great afternoon. I'm sure there's going to be more news coming out. We'll look, as the months go on, we'll see Lin-Wen Brennan leave. We'll see people like Candace Campos leave, even though she was named in the amended lawsuit by Karen McCarthy. All right. So this has been a great day. And, celebrate, but remember, save your strength for the official announcement. Okay. This is Steph, Smuggler Salute. See you around the galaxy. Bye, guys. Happy Day Day.